Hello and welcome back to the next part in my Synology DSM versus QNAP QTS series of videos. Today I want to talk about multimedia, and more precisely I want to talk about video. I want to talk about how both of these brands have approached the subject of enjoying video on a NAS. Now, a few disclaimers straight off the bat, and I'm really sorry, I know I keep saying these same disclaimers at the start of every one of these comparisons, so if you already know them, fast forward a couple of minutes, but otherwise, straight off the bat, today's video is being recorded using OBS, and OBS is a screen recording software, but unfortunately what that can mean sometimes is the GPU and the CPU and the memory of this NAS, of this PC, as you see right here, is being pushed to the very limits. Between Google Chrome being such a hungry little beast and the screen recording software running in the background, consequently, there may be times during this recording where what I see, the frame rate may not be quite as good as what you see, and particularly because we're dealing with video files, there may be the odd drop in performance. So I apologise in advance if that is the case. The second thing, I am running a half screen versus half screen setup here. This is so I can show you what both providers have got on offer rather than flicking between screens and not giving you a basis of comparison. This allows you to see what both OS's graphical user interface looks like and hopefully give you a better understanding about what you're looking at. Consequently, some windows may not be displayed completely correctly, as if you would see them as a full screen, they would be a lot bigger and in full size. Because I need to half screen them, eventually they can make them be shown incorrectly, as you see here. So it's worth highlighting that the half screening that we're doing can sometimes break some of these windows. Also, I'm running an 8GB of memory setup on both of these NASes, and I'm running a lot of things in the background. Consequently, it should run absolutely fine, but if you want to run all of the applications on these devices that I've been running in my videos, you will need more memory. So by default, both the Synology DS920 and the QNAP TS-453D series all arrive with 4GB of memory, but it never hurts to upgrade. You don't have to, but I'm running on 8 just in case. And I'm running a network-only setup, but the NASes are connected to the internet for reasons that will become clear throughout the video. So bear that in mind that this is a shared 1GB Ethernet connection, so you might see the occasional bottleneck in performance. Also, the PC I'm screen recording on, I am remarkably close to, due to a bunch of NASes in my local area, local network, a whole bunch of Synologies there for a start. Consequently, you may hear the keyboard like this, and you may hear the mouse like this. I apologise in advance if that happens. Also, just as a side note, I'm preparing some stuff for my follow-up video about VMs, and I'm currently restoring a VM on the QNAP, so that might add a little bump along the way in performance, but it should be absolutely fine. So, there you go, that's the disclaimer out the way. Welcome back, guys, for those of you that skipped it. Nice and simple. With these devices, they both play video in a number of ways, but the priorities of both QNAP and Synology are very, very clear, very early doors. Now, for those of you that have come to this video for Plex Media Server, I am going to mention Plex, and I've even opened up Plex here in the background. But what I will highlight is I'm doing a dedicated QNAP versus Synology video on Plex. So I'm going to go into way more detail in that video than in this one. And although I will talk about Plex on these two devices, I'm not going to go anywhere near as much detail as you might like when I talk about it in the next video on this subject. So I do recommend that you check that video out to see more information about the Plex Media setup of both of these devices. But both of these systems have got their own dedicated video tools. In the case of QNAP, their primary video tool is Video Station. In the case of the Synology, it is Video Station. I know, apparently everyone saw the PlayStation and thought, do you know what, I really like that word. I'm just going to keep using the word station. As rudimentary as that sounds, I'm slightly worried that that's true. But it's worth highlighting that the QNAP platform actually does have a lot more apps for multimedia, and as you will hear time and time and time again in these videos, you will often find that the QNAP is the more customizable option of the two, and the Synology will be the more streamlined of the two. And in this sense, there's certain advantages and disadvantages of both of these platforms adopting those positions. So in the case of the QNAP, If you go to the App Center and just go down to the entertainment section, you find there are loads of different apps that support video. You've got one for Cinema 28, which is a one-point home cinema control service. You have got the likes of Room, which primarily is about audio, but I know has video support. You've obviously got Plex Media Server, and you've got Kazoo, one that I hadn't even heard of until a week ago, which is mainly about music, and Twonky Server and MB Server as well. And of course, Video Station. On top of that, you've got Hybrid Desk Station, something I've disabled for this video because I'm running Linux Station for a soon to come video. But the QNAP also has support of HDMI out and a remote control support that allows you to look at HD video as well as video with the Video Station application via HDMI on your TV and more. There's even more applications readily available that are third-party supported, such as Plex Media Server and unofficially Kodi. There are loads of ways in which you can watch video on a QNAP NAS. On top of that, they've got multimedia add-ons that allow you to add TV tuners, third-party video streamers, and there's third-party applications in homebrew form at the qnapclub.eu. What I'm saying is the QNAP has got a whole myriad of tools for enjoying video. However, it should also be stated that the QNAP Video Station application is designed to watch video, but it's not as flush or as polished as the Synology tool. The Synology tool is trying to compete with Plex. Video Station on the QNAP is not designed to compete with Plex Media Server. They are slightly different beasts. Now, case in point, the Video Station application, let's look at, I've already created archives there of the content that's on there, the test videos that we use in our Plex tests, TV shows that we've uploaded to this device, and movies. Now, if we look at the Pulp Fiction tab, we can have a look at what we see. We've got cast, we've got an outline, we've got references from IMDb where we've done metadata scraping, the application has pulled thumbnails and more, and there's information about our file. If we go ahead and click play and play one of these files, it will play there in the background. Obviously I've had to mute this file because of YouTube's rules on that sort of thing. But from here you've got lots of options. You can switch to 360-degree mode if you're running a 360 headset and watch the film in 3D with a 360 headset. On top of that, if you've got network attached video devices, you can stream directly to them. On top of that, leave that playing there in the background. You can transcode the video if you so choose into a lower resolution, and you can even do that offline before playing the video. Set bookmarks to go back to as and when you see fit, and enable a bunch of other options here in the background with regards to playlists, subtitles, and obviously volume control. With the transcoding options, you can choose whether you want to watch the original file format or transcode onto the fly on the fly to lower resolutions. And of course, if there's different soundtracks, if there's other languages and more, all of these can be set in the background. You can even increase the play speed. So there's lots of configuration options there, and the same goes for all the other files and types and how it scrapes the metadata there, as well as the ability to, browse multimedia folders directly on the NAS and view these in a file format manner. There's lots of configuration options: download, stream, share, delete, upload, copy. They're all there for you. But there's no avoiding that a number of people that buy a NAS want the flush user interface and want the slick graphics and descriptions and reviews and links that they get from the likes of Netflix, from Prime Video, from all of those streaming services, and that is where Video Station comes in. On the Synology Video Station app, it is far comparable to the likes of Plex. Look at Plex here. If we look at video files here on Plex, we can see on the Plex Media Server we've got directed by, we've got the file format, we've got a description, we've got cast lists, we've got extras that are linked to, we've got information from soundtracks that can be accessed online, we've got the reviews from Rotten Tomatoes, we've got all of this information readily available. You can even access trailers. The Synology Video Station app gives us information on the file types. It's got that description, the IMDb links, it's got summaries, it's got the casting, it's got the thumbnail there, We can even favorite and create watch lists and more, but with the added bonus that it has better access to the transcoding engine on the system than Plex Media Server. The Plex Media Server, if we go into the settings, does allow us with a Plex Pass to access the transcoding engine if we so choose, that's based on the NAS, but you've still got to have a paid subscription service to Plex in the form of a Plex Pass for a tenner a month to do that. Video Station, on both platforms in fact, does let you transcode on the fly, but the Synology Video Station app does give you a lot more of the graphical frills that you might be used to. And again, you can see there one of the issues we've got with half screening there. Now again, playing the video file here, which hopefully will be playing in some semblance there with the screen recording software, does allow us, that's a CRT image there on screen. And again, we can lower or heighten the resolution, change the audio, do all of the options that were readily available before, as well as streaming to network media devices if we so choose. We can change the speed, change all the options that we saw before and more. If we exit there, we go back into the video file there, and the same goes for those transcoding tests that we were doing in previous videos. And as you can see, it scraped more metadata than the QNAP. The QNAP managed to find the Black Book's metadata, but the Synology found the Father Ted, the Mr. Bean data, and Taskmaster, whereas this managed to find the wrong information in one case. And that's because Video Station is not designed to compete with Plex. That's the thing you have to remember. The Video Station application is designed as a video player. The Synology Video Station application is designed to compete with Plex Media Server. More so, the Synology Video Station application has add-ons for Amazon Fire Stick, allowing you to watch your videos natively from the NAS on an Amazon Fire Stick with a Synology app. QNAP, you'll have to use UPnP Player, have to use VLC Player, you'll have to use a lot of third-party apps to enjoy things on that application. However, we have to at least examine some of the things that make the QNAP platform incredibly competitive. For a start, there's all those apps we've talked about. There is the HDMI support, which again gives us near zero latency on 4K playback. There's the idea that you have Plex Media Server anyway, which runs almost exactly the same on both of these devices. And then on top of that, you have got Multimedia Console, an application that we just cannot highlight enough. It is an intelligent indexing and cataloging tool. Video Station does allow you a rare opportunity, from a Synology app at least, to be able to select the folders that your media lives in, but the Multimedia Console is far, far more configurable, both in terms of DLNA and Video Station, and indexing a lot of that information and sharing a lot of that indexing information, as well as offline transcoding control and more. What I'm saying is, the Video Station application from QNAP is not as good as Video Station on the Synology, and I believe that. However, the QNAP has way more tools and covers more ground in terms of first-party and third-party app support. And that's the big takeaway from today's video. You need to focus on how you're going to use the system. I love Synology Video Station app, and in many ways, it's actually better than Plex Media Server. Because if you want to use transcoding and you have to get a Plex Pass to utilize it, you're paying a tenner a month on a subscription service, when the whole point of a NAS with Plex was that you didn't want to pay monthly subscriptions and have your own media. And Video Station brings a lot of those options to the table, but with a lack of support of HDMI output and the low latency speeds that it provides for dense media, as well as less support for a myriad of different applications and tools such as Kodi and Plex over HDMI, both of which are available on the QNAP platform, you have to choose which one best suits you and your multimedia setup. And remember that both of these are applications that are rolled in with your NAS. Whether you buy QNAP or Synology, you're going to get a great video tool nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Do check out my Plex Media Server video coming very, very soon, where we are going to talk about how both of these platforms handle Plex Media Server in terms of configuration. It's going to be less about transcoding and performance, because that is incredibly relative to individual NASes, but we will of course touch on that. Click like if you've enjoyed this, click subscribe if you want to learn more, and I'll see you next time.